Before the saga truly awakens, the world of Roshar remembers an ancient shattering. In ages long past, mighty warriors turned their backs on a terrible war. They cast aside their weapons. They forsook their oaths. None now recall the reason, yet the silence of their departure lingers still, echoing through the ages. But centuries later, that silence is shattered. On a fateful night, a king is slain. A mysterious assassin, Seth, is unleashed to end the life of King Gavilar of Alethkar. With impossible grace he walks the air itself, yet he is no free man, bound by unseen chains, compelled to serve against his will. And when the night ends, a king lies dead, and questions far darker than the deed echo through the world. This single moment hurls all of Roshar onto a path of blood and storm. Now we turn to Kaladin. Once a soldier filled with purpose, now a slave, chained and beaten across endless stony plains. Kaladin has learned that to endure is to lose, and lose again, yet something deep within him refuses to break. In chains he watches, he learns, and somewhere in the depths of his soul, he remembers what it means to protect. Across the vast sea we meet Shallan. Clever, determined, she arrives in Kharbranth. Outwardly she seeks knowledge, but beneath her gracious facade lies a sharp mind and a desperate plan. Shallan will risk everything to save her family, even if it means delving into a world of ancient secrets and hidden dangers. Part 1 unveils a world broken as its people. Kings fall, slaves march, scholars plot. None are whole, yet every fragment will shape the storm now gathering, and none of them fathom how utterly their lives are about to change. As we glimpsed before deepen, revealing how souls endure in the cracks. Kaladin's world narrows to wood, to stone, and death. He is sent to a bridge crew, bearing vast wooden bridges across open battlefields. These bridges are not shelter, they are bait. Each run is a wager against arrows, exhaustion, and despair. Around him men surrender hope, one by one. Many cease caring if they live or die. Yet Kaladin cannot stop seeing them as men. Even in chains, in loss after loss, he begins to protect again. Not with swords, but with leadership, unyielding will, and the quiet belief that survival must mean something. In Kharbranth, Shallan's scheme advances. She becomes the ward of Yasna Kholin, a scholar brilliant and feared. Shallan studies history, philosophy, the very nature of reality. Yet each lesson is a risk. Her sketches reveal uncanny truths. Her curiosity leads her toward feared ideas, and the lie she lives tightens its grip, heavier by the day. Meanwhile, upon the shattered plains, a high prince begins to doubt. Dalinar Kholin, brother to the slain king, is haunted by visions in the storm. Ancient voices speak of honor, oaths, forgotten duties. Others murmur that he is losing his mind. But Dalinar believes these visions are a warning, a call to act before doom falls. Part 2 speaks of endurance, men driven beyond reason, truths buried beneath fear, and the first whisper of something stirring in the world. The storms do not only ruin, they cast light, and slowly the pieces begin to move. Kaladin's burden grows vast. As bridge leader, he stands between his men and death time after time. He trains them, shields them, through discipline, timing, trust. Against all odds, the bridge crew begins to endure. Not because the war relents, but because someone at last refuses to look away. Amidst the arrows and storming skies, Kaladin chooses responsibility. And with that choice, something ancient begins to stir within him. In Kharbranth, Shallan's path tightens like a noose. Days under Yasna Kholin are radiant with brilliance and peril. She studies power, the soul, transformation. Yet her secret looms. The theft she plans is no longer distant, it is imminent. Every sketch, Every word, every moment draws her toward a threshold she cannot unstep. Knowledge grants her power, but it exacts a toll. On the shattered plains, Dalinar Kholin quietly defies tradition. He casts aside conquest and speaks of honor as a living truth. He upholds the codes. He questions the war. He seeks unity while others thirst for glory. His visions return, stronger, guiding him onward. And as his resolve crystallizes, opposition swells. Part 3 is about choice. The choice to lead in pain. The choice to act when truth cuts. The choice to believe that honor is strength. The storm still rages, but now there are those who rise to meet it. Kaladin's leadership is now more than survival. It is purpose. Bridge 4 is no longer merely men bound by suffering. They train, they protect, they learn to trust. Kaladin teaches them to move as one, to watch the skies, to endure as a whole. Slowly the bridge crew transforms, not because the danger wanes, but because they stand together. And within Kaladin the ancient stirring grows. The winds whisper to him, not loudly, not fully, but undeniably. In Kharbranth, Shallan's journey deepens into peril. Under Yasna's tutelage, she studies power, truth, and transformation, but knowledge exacts its toll. Shallan's secret presses close, threatening to shatter all she's built. The lie she lives cracks, and the line between who she is and who she pretends to be begins to blur. On the shattered plains, Dalinar Kholin stands increasingly isolated. He calls for unity in a world of division. He honors the codes while others chase glory. His visions call for change, and change breeds opposition. Yet Dalinar stands firm. He believes the past beckons them forward, that honor is strength, that leadership means holding fast, even when the storm turns against you. Part 4 is about ideals. The ideals that shape us, the ideals that cost us, and the courage to live them when the world pushes back. On the shattered plains, the cost of survival demands its answer. Kaladin stands at the precipice of all he's lost, and all he still believes in. Bridge 4 is no longer a crew. They are a promise. Proof that leadership rises from suffering, that protection exists even in a world of cruelty. When the moment comes, Kaladin chooses, not for glory, not for revenge, but for life. And in that choice, the ancient winds answer fully at last. In Kharbranth, Shallan reaches the point of no return. The knowledge she sought reveals its true weight. Truth is no longer distant. It is dangerous, transformative. Shallan steps forward with both brilliance and fear, knowing growth demands sacrifice. What she takes cannot be undone. Who she becomes can never again be simple. On the plains beneath the storm, Dalinar Kholin embraces the path he once resisted. He chooses unity over conquest, honor over tradition, responsibility over fear. The past does not release him, but it no longer rules him. Dalinar now knows leadership is not commanding the storm, but standing inside it, calling others to stand with you. Part 5 is the way forward. Not easy, not safe, but chosen with intent. The storms still rage, the world still breaks, but now some choose to rise, to protect, to believe. This is not the end, it is the beginning of the Way of Kings.